Good morning, or good afternoon, or whatever this is, child. What's going on? It's your boy, Darren Green, host of The Darren Green Show, your weekly dose of pop culture news, music, social media gossip, and reality TV. Please be sure that if you're watching this on YouTube, leave your thoughts in the comments. I cannot stress this enough. We have got to be good on those recommendations on YouTube. And also, if you're not already subscribed, girl, subscribe to the goddamn channel, girl. I don't know. We do this every time, okay? There's a lot of y'all watching my stuff, but y'all not subscribing. What's going on? So yeah, subscribe to the channel, and also to the audio listeners. Hey, how y'all doing? Please be sure to give this podcast a rate or review. We love those from wherever you are listening to this podcast on, whether that be Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or from wherever, child. There's so many different sites. Hey, so girl, I've been going through it. I've definitely been going through it. I'm just I know you guys notice it. I've not been as present as I would like to be on social media, especially on TikTok. If you guys are watching me on TikTok and stuff, and Instagram and all that other things. And I find it so crazy. Every time I stop being on TikTok for a couple of seconds, girl, they want to sit there and suppress my stuff, suppress the videos that I do post when I do post it. They want to sit there and take away the following, child, because we already know half of them damn things is bots anyway. Let's be very clear. Not bots on my part. I don't pay a damn thing. Let's be very clear. TikTok, to make you feel good. Oh, you got 5 followers today. You got to keep on posting. You got to keep on giving them the stuff. And then when you are tapped the frick out, like I was for the last couple of weeks, I was tapped out. It's a mix of me in pursuit of a new job and also trying to keep up with a lot of the topics that's going on. And like I told you in previous episodes, I'm just not feeling what's being talked about this week. There's just nothing except for reality TV. Reality TV is up. We got the drama over Housewives of Atlanta. We're going to get into Kenya and her little confessionals and all the other stuff with that. And then some other topics as well. But it's just, I don't know. I feel like I lost my mojo. You ever feel like you just lost your mojo? You just feel like I'm just going through the motions. I'm not really feeling this. And then before I would make the videos about like very trivial topics. You get what I'm saying? And then people in the comments would be like, oh my goodness, I feel like you're just saying anything at this point. I don't ever want to get to the point where I'm making content and I'm just saying anything because it's not good. It's not good quality. So I refrain from posting really, except for the podcast. I gave you a Real Housewives recap, and then also I gave you a Wednesday show. Check that out. It's still relevant and still really good. Shout out to the WRU radio listeners. It's been a minute since I've been on air. We've just been having a lot of technical difficulties. Hopefully this episode does go out. We are on at 6 a.m. to 10 a.m. on Mondays. It's just a lot going on with that, but things are moving and shaking, and we are going to move to a more suitable system very soon. Hopefully I'm on with you guys this morning. If I'm not, hey, it's 12 o'clock. Happy Easter, happy belated Easter, because I know when I'm taping this, it is on Easter. But, when you're getting this, it's after Easter. So my Christians that do watch this channel, how y'all doing? Shout out to Jesus. Okay, let me move on, honey. Okay, happy Easter, happy Easter, happy Easter. Hope you guys had some good food and was in y'all Sunday best and stuff. You know what I'm saying? Girl, anyway, is there anything else I want to get into? Because I feel like this is going to be like one of those little quick episodes, but I think it might not be because we do have an extensive list of topics to get into. We got to talk about Kenya Moore and her confessionals. We also talk about how we also have to talk about Megan Thee Stallion's legal team requesting to sanction Tory Lanez. We got to talk about Gayle King. Now, I know we talked about Gayle King with the whole space thing before, but she got a little bit of dip in her chip with this next situation. We got to talk about poor Karen Huger, okay? She was denied a work release, girl. All that and more coming up on the Darren Green Show, okay? Now, we can start with this topic. Now, this isn't one of the bigger topics, but this is some of the topics that I wanted to bring up. You know what I'm saying? I wanted to talk about this whole Drink Champs situation, okay? Now, if y'all don't already know, Drink Champs, the podcast, or whatever you want to call it, because everybody called themselves a podcast, I don't know. But they face a lot of backlash for airing their interview with Andrew Schultz. Andrew Schultz is a very polarizing character. We know him a couple of episodes ago from when he invited these 2 British or Brit or whatever. I don't know where they're from, but they're not from here, but they were black folk, okay? These black men, and they basically ragged on black women, and they just said, well, Andrew did. Black dudes just sat there and did nothing, sat there and ate their fucking food. And he kind of got into some backlash for that. He also got into some backlash for saying some weird things about Kendrick Lamar, and very weird. He's a very weird dude. He's a comedian, but his whole shtick is like saying things that are like politically that are not PC, because we as comedians should have the freedom to say whatever, and art is art and all that other bullshit. Well, like I said, Drinking Champs is facing a ton of backlash ahead of their highly anticipated interview with the comedian Andrew Schulz. Critics accuse the show of centralizing controversial topics, expecting Schulz to delve into provocative discussions that could overshadow his comedic career. As the episode draws near, fans are questioning if the show will prioritize entertainment over their thoughtful conversation. Whatever that means. But anyway, here's the clip of the actual, because they released the trailer.
I see how you guys do this. You like manipulate the guests and get drunk. Like I don't drink. In New York, we had this. Did you have a TV in Left Rack? Yeah, we're good at peer pressure.
Yeah, it's great. Because you stormed the Capitol.
We did that shit. We got it. Well, first of all, if you're offended by a joke, you're allowed to be. That's why I keep telling people. I think there's this idea that comedians are out here going, you're not allowed to be offended by the joke. You like however you feel.
It's massive. You just hit the #1 show on Netflix, right?
#1 comedy special.
All
right. We can't have success. We can have a show where we sit around and drink alcohol, make money, feed our families, and then go, but why doesn't everyone understand me? Rewind it. I'm trying to explain to people, they're like, why weren't you watching SNL? And I was like, because it's on Saturday night, and I was trying to get some.
Okay, now, I mean, from the looks of this trailer, it doesn't look like he's going to say anything out the way, but you never know. I mean, they're probably cutting out the parts for the actual release so people can watch. I mean, we got some people commenting. Basically, this person said, black men still inviting him to black spaces, on brand. Why y'all keep giving this dude any type of light? This person said, damn, down bad. If you think that he's a part of the culture, this is another reason I stopped watching the show. Shit just nasty. What the F has he done for the culture or even for hip hop to deserve a sit down? N-words really cooning out for the soggy piece of white bread. Oh, wow. Not Andrew Schulz. I mean, did this person lie? I mean, come on. This person wrote a whole paragraph, child, a whole essay, child. He said this N-word completely tossed the purpose of Drink Champs out the window. He just have anybody on there now. The show was better when the show was what it was created to be. Andrew Schulz, along with a gang of other guests, ain't it? Okay. This one person said, they're about to find out that Andrew is a career suicide. Keep him the F out of hip hop. F Drink Champs. Andrew Schulz on Drink Champs, nor is Tether. I don't even get that comment, but people are upset. A lot of people are upset. What do you expect? Like, what do you guys expect when it comes to these big brand podcasts or shows that they claim that they talk about the real and they have... I'm not surprised. I'm just not surprised. I'm surprised that people are now surprised. You know what I'm saying? I'm surprised that you're surprised. Drink Champs never, to me, was the place of integrity. It never was the place that you got some good, wholesome black culture content. They got people, they sat them down, they gave them liquor, and they made content off of people's stupidity when they're drunk. That's the whole premise of the show. And they had Kanye West on there. Kanye West, he showed his ass. Do you get what I'm saying? So what did you expect? I don't understand how y'all expect integrity from this platform. This platform was built off of not having integrity. And Andrews, he seems to be a very popular figure, and this podcast will capitalize off of having him on there. I mean, he was promoting his brands. I mean, people are going to watch this. This is going to break. I'm not going to say it's going to break the internet because Andrew Schulz is not that popular, but like, he is very polarizing. Like, people will hate watch. I ain't going to watch this shit. I know that for damn sure. Ain't nothing I ain't going to waste my damn hour or two because these people be on for 2 hours, 3 hours. I'm like, girl, what's going on? And I don't understand. Y'all sitting there, y'all eating fried chicken. Hey, y'all eating fried chicken and y'all drinking liquor with these dang nice little classy microphones. And how y'all listening to this? I know this got to be the only, this podcast has to be video only because ain't nowhere in the world you listening to all this and drinking and you hacking and It is a whole mess. I'm convinced that these type of podcasts or these type of platforms, honey, they would have Hitler on their show if he had 10 million followers on Instagram, child, on X. You get what I'm saying? There's no integrity. Like I said, there's no integrity. And one person said this, one of the comments I was doing a highlight when they said that, why are we inviting him to black spaces and to black culture and stuff like that? And you know when they will stop doing that shit? When people will stop like messing with him, and I'm talking about black men, it's going to take him to start really ragging on black men. And he kind of already has. He's definitely like with those two black British men that came on his show, and he kind of clowned them after the fact because I guess they reneged on not saying nothing when he was going in on black women. But he basically ragged them on his platform saying that, well, you had the floor to say what you want, but you didn't. You sat there and you ate your fucking food as I was dragging black women, basically, in so many words. That's what Andrew Schultz was saying. It's going to take him to be like, to really drag and berate black men and say all the nasty stereotypes that is said about us for black men to be like, you know what? Yeah, we need to stop inviting him into the culture. But see that by that time, it's too late. By that time, it's too late. He done already got into the white market and then boom, skyrocketed. You get what I'm saying? If you remember Myron Gaines, Mauron from the Fresh and Fit podcast, child. Yes, he was invited on black platforms left and right. And then out of nowhere, he was on that little Nazi reign. Not only was he coming for black women, but he was coming for black men. Okay, and real bad. Like I'm talking about like the girl, like the back in the day, like stereotypes. Like he went that left. And then everybody was like, oh my God, it's so hard. But like we did a podcast episode about this. Like there was so many women that was like, oh my God, like he needs to get out of here and this, that. So I'm like, oh, now y'all have a problem. Well, see, now it's too late because even though whether he's demonetized on YouTube or not, Moron, and this man, Andrew Schultz, they're going to say what they're going to say. And they're going to leave y'all high and dry. We let them in. We let them in the cookout because he's cool. I remember the way they marketed this Andrew Schultz guy, like he was second fiddle to Charmaine, the goddess. Okay, and now he kind of surpassed Charlemagne. It's weird. It's very weird. I'm very surprised that, like I said, people are still thinking that this is like, why would Drink Champs do this? Why wouldn't they? They should have had him on sooner, child. I would have definitely expected that. No, this man is using black entertainers to bolster his career. It's very clear on that. I mean, he boasted about this #1 Netflix show, comedy special. Ain't nobody on Netflix like that no more, boo. And I got Netflix and I don't be on it like that. I'm watching old stuff. I'm watching stuff that's already been out. Like I'm not #1 on Netflix. Okay, good. Thank you. We're all gonna buy it. But I'm telling you right now, once he gets that white following, like that, the white demographics on his side, it's over. It's over. And that's just that on that. I mean, we can move on. I don't have nothing else to say about it. That was an interesting topic. Now, see, why they coming for Tracee Ellis Ross now? Hold on, because I wanted to bring this up. This was something that just came up on my Explore, and I'm like, why y'all coming for Tracee Ellis Ross? Not too much on my girl. Okay, well, social media reacts to Tracee Ellis Ross explaining why she often dates younger men. Take a look at this.
Reasons. I mean, we've talked about this, that often I date younger men. And a lot of it is because...
Let's stop on that, folks.
Oh my God, we had a great dinner. We had a great dinner, by the way, where across the table, your husband goes, but why? And I said, well, maybe because I can.
Yes. This is what I'm saying. Tales from Tracee's...
It's fun. It's very fun to share.
Tracee tales.
But I'm sorry. But one of the reasons, though, that because I had to ask myself that question, I was like, "What is this about?"
Yeah,
because I want a partner, and so often, and it's not just that I'm older. I'm also very embodied. I'm a full, very whole person who knows myself, who is in charge of my life, and who lives a very full, just robust life. So it's not just age, it's like life experience and sort of a difference. But I had to ask myself the question, why does this keep sort of coming up other than they're hot and gorgeous? My age are steeped in a toxic masculinity and have been raised in a culture where there is a particular way that a relationship looks. And anything that starts to smell of that for me, I did enough of it where I was controlled and felt like I was a possession or whatever those things were, or prize and I have no interest in it and I will not do it again.
Okay. So yeah, there was a lot of people that were saying some things. There was a lot of people that had like responses. This one tweet right here said 50-year-old Tracee Ellis Ross said that she only dates younger men. Women praised her for her preference, but if a man said this the sisterhood would be in an uproar. Now, this is what Lil Duval said. I don't mess with him. But this is what he said. Tracee Ellis Ross said that she likes younger men to avoid toxic masculinity, but if men say that about younger women, we're the problem. If she's over 40 and still don't have a man you think you deserve, it's obvious you don't deserve him. See, what woman you got? What woman's on your arm, child? You just an old ass man that be making little, like, your whole existence, Lil Duval, child, is making shady tweets like this. You're not even on no comedy show. You're not on a set. You're not doing nothing. You're just berating women because you are not satisfied with your life. So screw that damn comment. But I mean, I would read on. It's a lot of people saying that it's a little bit hypocritical of Tracee to have these feelings because, like I said, if men were to say, I am into younger women, it's looked at as a problem. In most cases, people are saying, like, the grooming comments, the pedo comments. You get what I'm saying? Oh, you're into this young girl because you want to groom her or that you want to control the narrative. Her reasoning saying that it has to do with, like, toxic masculinity, I don't believe that because men my age, I mean, I think. Now, look. She didn't specify how younger. I mean, she's in her 50s, so she could very much be talking about 30s. She could be talking about early 40s. Like, I don't think we're going straight to 20 something. Like, she's not a Drea, okay? She's not dating no 21-year-old that just got into the NBA, and we all know why she did that. You get what I'm saying? She didn't specify how young. You get what I'm saying? So I think that also we have to call a spade. That is true. When men do say that they prefer younger women, that is what the narrative is. When women say it, it is, okay, girl, you better get your little young man, little young wild and turd. You get what I'm saying? They flip it better than the old ones, and then they do what they got to do. Her hiding it behind masculinity, because like at the end of the day, there's toxic masculinity everywhere. There's men my age, very toxic. They exude so much toxic masculinity. I would say more than the old ones. Because I feel like when you get a little older, you kind of realize the little things. Like, you know what? All this shit that we was doing when we was younger, all this shit that we had to do just to fit in this little box, that don't mean nothing. Now, there are men that are older that have that controlling nature. But I'm all for, as long as it's not like underage, I'm never against like men that said that they're into younger women. Like, as long as it's not like at an age where it's girl. Okay, they just turned 21. They're able to drink, and you're like, just turning 57. You get what I'm saying? That's a problem. But if you 40 and you date somebody late 20s or early 30s, okay, I like older men. You know what I'm saying? I like them a little older child. And not because I want to be groomed or I want to have some type of structure or somebody have some agency over me. No, that's not the case. It's just that's just my preference. If she has a preference, then if he has a preference, then it's okay under the guise of, okay, y'all both grown. I don't think it's a problem. She also made a comment. I mean, people were talking about how she regrets not dating or not taking relationships seriously and not having kids and stuff like that. That was also a conversation. I mean, I talked about this with my best friend. I say people are going to have regrets in their lives. I mean, you're either going to do this or you're going to do that. People will sit there and say, oh, well, you can't have it all. You can't. Not really. I mean, sometimes life is you want to go the family route or you want to go the success route. I think Tracee Ellis Ross can find herself a man. Like, Janet Jackson was able to find herself a man, got a child and all that. And she's like 54, right? So it's not all lost. Okay, girl. I don't know. I just thought that was an interesting topic that people were talking about. Anyway, we can get into some of the heavy hitter topics now. Meg Thee Stallion. I'm going to read this little excerpt right now. Okay. And I'm going to give you guys my goddamn thoughts because I'm a little confused and I'm just wondering why. Okay. Anyway, a judge has granted Meg Thee Stallion's legal team a request to sanction Tory Lanez over his conduct during the deposition in the defamation lawsuit. Okay. According to court filings, Lanez's behavior was described as disruptive, inflammatory, and inconsistent with the basic norms of civil litigation. He allegedly harassed Meg's lawyer, interrupts questions, and pretending to not understand simple words like discuss and approve, despite claiming video issues. The prison staff confirmed the equipment worked fine. Megan's team called the 44-minute session a waste of time. The disposition is tied to her suit against Malago Cooper. That's the blogger that she's suing for defamation, accused of spreading falsehoods at the behest of and the command of Lanez. Judge ordered Lanez to respond to the sanctions motions by April 30th. Lanez currently is serving 10 years for shooting Megan Thee Stallion in 2022. Is also under a 5-year restraining order granted in the January due to the alleged ongoing harassment. Now, I'm going to be honest with y'all right now. I'm going to be honest with y'all when it comes to this conversation. I have my opinion, and we got to be honest. Part of me understands why Megan is going through the legal route with this, but why are we still trying to prosecute Tory, though? This is a defamation suit. Okay, now Megan and Megan's legal team believes that Tory has something to do with this blogger spewing these lies and hates. I mean, they said it was something about AI. Well, if you didn't know, Cooper, which is a blogger who Megan alleges has used her social media accounts to spread defamation statements, deepfake porn videos, and outright lies about Megan. And she says that this was information that she got from Tory Lanez. Tory Lanez basically coached her to spew out these accusations. Megan's lawyers also said that Tory Lanez has publicly insulted the lawyers. Like, he's not taking this serious. He's being very unserious. He's trolling. And he's, at the end of the day, this man is in jail. He's in jail for 10 years. And then now I'm being drugged into court to explain why my affiliation with this blogger. And my thing is this: how do we know exactly that this blogger was instructed by Tory? How do we know? Are there any transactions? Are there any receipts of he's paying this girl? You get what I'm saying? Unless the blogger was telling some truths that only Tory would know. If that's not the case, why are we adding Tory to this thing? Because I'm just telling you, optics alone, it just looks like this man is serving his time and you over here still trying to prosecute. Now, I get the restraining order. I mean, actually, I don't get the restraining order because if he's in jail, like, I can understand it at the time when he gets released. Then that's when you put a restraining order because you don't want him around you, whatever. Got you. But the man is in jail. You getting a restraining order in jail. It just doesn't make any sense. I was doing the research that I was doing on what the issue is. But I'm just telling you right now, off of optics alone, and maybe Meg decided doesn't care about optics at this point, because at the end of the day, you're going to think what you're going to think. But it just looks like you coming for this man. He in jail and you just still dragging him. You still dragging it along. I think that you should just pay it and this sue this girl. We done had Cardi B done won something from Tasha K in that situation. Nicki Minaj with the nosy hoe. It's very clear this girl's saying some hateful stuff and some lies and using deep fakes to pose it as something that's true. Sue her, win something, and then move on. I don't know why Tory was being added to this. To me, it just doesn't make any sense. But you guys will tell me what you think in the comments. I'm not going to stay too long on this topic. All right, let's move on. Let's get into the reality tea of it all, because I did want to talk about Kenya more. Yeah, Kenya, girl. Girl, what are we doing? Well, Kenya Moore decided to take the Porsche route and basically do her tell-all and her confessional, being that she didn't get a confessional when she was on the show. She decided to have her own confessional about what went down with her taping on the show. She promoted the fact that this is going to come out on Friday. It didn't come out on Friday. She gave us this little ass 1 minute and 40-second clip of a trailer. Girl, I was like, what is happening? What is happening? Here's a little bit of what was discussed. Like, I got 2 clips for y'all. We're gonna go over the bullet point stuff, but here's some of the clips.
Screaming, and it was then that I heard her say the following words: "That's why I keep a for like you." You didn't hear it. I heard it. It didn't make the edit. We're 3 weeks into filming, and this girl we don't know is threatening to unalive me. A live interview where Andy asked her, did she have a and she said, oh no, I didn't have a well, I have proof otherwise. Investigate that night, everyone went home. But weeks later, you want to say, oh, we had an investigation and found that you weren't in violation of the policy. Hey, did you have a night? No. Okay, investigation closed. Any place that it will put people in danger and say you have a gun and not be committing a crime. That's not a crime. That's not against policy. I'm just asking the question. That happened on Beverly Hills. You think she would be in jail or punished or out of a job? You think if she had said that to Kyle or Teresa Giudice or any other housewife on any other show?
Did you have a gun that night?
Oh my God. I never had a gun. Ever.
Never had a gun.
I never.
Yeah, so that was a little clip from Kenya's video. Now, she ended up dropping it on Saturday. I saw the whole thing, so you guys don't have to. Okay. Let's talk about these more receipts. Okay, she starts off by clearing up that Portia said that there was another housewife that gave her the pictures. Kenya said that's not true. She actually hired a private investigator. Those photos that she got were from porn sites, okay? And she made it very clear. I don't watch it. I hired a private investigator. I don't do that stuff. I look at my own body and stuff. I'm like, girl, don't nobody care if you watch or not. Okay, let's be very clear. She also brought up the fact that people thought that Ming Lee was the one that gave her the photos, which Kenya Moore denies. Also, she basically holds up her views on the fact that it was not revenge porn. She spoke to actual lawyers, and in the court of Georgia laws, it was not broke because it's the simple fact that the photos were readily available online. So at the end of the day, whether it is considered revenge porn or not, you get what I'm saying? Like, she was able to kind of glide past that. It was a little loophole there. I mean, because obviously Brittany Edie would have definitely sued if she had a case. If the photos are already on social media, that's just like me taking, and she brought up this example. She said, that's just like me, if I plaster a video or plaster a poster of Kim Kardashian and her sex tape, you get what I'm saying? Is that considered revenge porn? Because it's all over the net. It literally is all over the net. So that is kind of true, but you still wrong for doing that. Like, it's still, legally, you did not break the law. Morally, you did some shit. Like, that's call it spade. But anyway, she addressed the scene that everybody like to bring up, the whole scene where she was beefing with Phaedra and she was talking to her friend Brandon and she brought up that gun saying, oh, do I need to bring this gun on the trip or whatever? I got a Glock for anybody that try. I think that, and I've said this, I said that, well, a lot of people are using that example. I'm sure it's not in comparison, because if I'm in the comfort of my own home and I'm over here talking to a friend and saying I can get my Glock on these hoes, you know what I'm saying? It's very different than me actually engaging into an argument with somebody and then them saying that you need to have some respect because I can pistol whip you, I got whips, and it's very different when you're actually arguing with the person. Kenya has never made claims, and Kenya and Phaedra have gotten to plenty arguments that almost went to blows, and a gun was never brought up. Okay. Let's be there is a difference. For people to saying that there's not a difference, it literally is a difference. I'll give Kenya that. That's all I will give her. She also was sharing her side of the story with her, the whole thing with Brittany Edie. Basically, she's saying that Brittany wanted to be the villain, and in order to be the villain, she has to take out the shade assassin, which is Kenya. And when she noticed that Kenya was not giving her that type time, and Kenya was actually being nice to her, and she was the one that's being the aggressor, that's when she knew she had to do anything to get Kenya's attention. But with Kenya, because there was a question at the end of the video, and I'm going back and forth, but I'm a land. There was a question that she did not want to answer. The question was like, do you feel like Brittany Edie got you out your spot? Like, she baited you into getting you out your spot, and for her to sit there and say, oh, well, we all had peaches. I already had a peach. No, girl, she tricked you out of this bitch. Like, she picked and tried to rile you up because she knew in her mind, I think she knew she was going to do something. She knew that Kenya was going to do something vile, and that's what Kenya did. And you got about your seat. You let her swindle you because you're not a peach holder anymore. You were a peach holder, but you're not because of the decisions that you made, but you got out of character. Like, she did kind of trick you out your spot. And I feel like she kind of blasted past that answer because she didn't want to say it. She didn't want to admit that, girl, you got hoodwinked. Like, she baited you. And I would also say production as well. We'll get into production a little bit later. She talked about taking full accountability because people were bringing up old stuff about Kenya. They were saying, oh, look how she was with Kim Fields. She brought up me and Kim Fields got over it. She brought up the situation with Phaedra. Me and Phaedra got over it. You can say, and my thing is with Kenya, You can say that you got over and you guys like talked it out and mended the bond and this, that, and the third. But at the end of the day, girl, that does not take away what you did. It does not take away what you did. You tried to drag that girl off her seat, talking about Kim Fields, the stuff you did with Phaedra and Apollo and that mess. Like, girl, you have done some irrefutable stuff. It doesn't matter if y'all over it, y'all past it, or y'all moved on. It still was done. She did say that when she heard that Britt made those gun comments, that she did speak to producers, and I guess they did nothing because they said they did like an investigation like 3 weeks after the actual taping of that scene, to which all they did was ask her if she had a gun, and she said no, and boom, she was back on the show. I think they did speak to her, like Brittany Edie. I think producers did speak to Brittany and was like, hey, this is a no gun policy, like what's going on? And Kenya was making points about production. You egged this on. You egged this beef on. She brought up guns and pistols. Or she brought up pistols and whips. Okay, weapons. You get what I'm saying? And you guys basically did nothing. You allowed her to tape again. I mean, not even give her no suspension. And she brought up the fact that if you ain't doing that to Teresa, she was bringing up all the white cast members on other shows. If somebody said that to Teresa, that person is out of here. I'll take it a step further. Somebody said that to Vanderpump. If somebody even said that to freaking Kim Zolciak, okay, it will be problems. It will be hell to pay, and that person will be out of that place. But because it was Kenya and y'all not taking it serious, y'all don't know this girl. And then I found out that she said they don't check our bags. They don't check us for weapons before we start taping. I'm like, oh, I was seated when she said that. I was like, what? You mean to tell me they don't check y'all before y'all get into like in this climate? You get what I'm saying? Well, we got like school shooters. We got people going into churches. We got people going into Walmarts just shooting people up. Y'all not checking these people bags to see if they got some weapons on them? Because I've always said that will probably be the end of reality TV if somebody comes up with a gun. And the fact that I'm pretty sure Love and Hip Hop gets checked. Like I'm pretty sure there is some checks and balances when it comes to even Zeus now. Because we saw Tommy brought that gun to their taping and actually shot somebody. But it was a BB gun, but whatever. Like, y'all not checking people? Like, what? That's crazy. That's really crazy. And I found that to be very concerning. And then we had Kenya showed a video of Brittany Edie in another interview basically saying, yeah, I keep my pistol around me everywhere I go. So the girl's lying, and y'all don't know this person. This person could have literally we don't know what type of vibe she's got. She could be affiliated with gangs. Like, girl, it was some foul play. Kenya should have never did what she did, but I also feel like production definitely, they were instigating. They were instigating, and they're kind of at fault also for not doing anything about, because Kenya probably felt like she had to do something extreme because she felt like she wasn't being supported by Bravo. So I think, like I said, I still think it was wrong, but I think Bravo is to blame too. And I think it's a lot of things that's going to come out in the comings of ages, child. Bravo, y'all got something coming, child, one day. Now, she talked about being invited and then disinvited to the reunion. I would have loved to seen her at least show up to the reunion at some point to talk about the situation. I mean, why invite her if you were going to disinvite her? That doesn't make any sense. And then she claims that she's getting fake reviews from her business, child. Now, I heard, girl, like I said before, girl, your show is, or not your show, your salon be opening for 4 hours. And I actually looked at the reviews. She is getting a lot of negative reviews and it doesn't seem real. But girl, why are you open 3 days a week? Like Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, she's closed. And then Thursday, Friday, Saturday, she's open from 10 a.m. to 2. I'm like, girl, I pray for your business, honey. I hope she makes good money, girl. But girl, those are the major parts of the week, like Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Like, what? Girl, that's crazy. And then she's having issues with staff. I don't think Kenya's a good leader. And I think she probably hired some staff and she ain't like them and she got rid of them because she's a great, like, and she admires Candy for her leadership and how she has like a big team. But yeah, Candy, even though I don't like, Candy does good on her for people that work for her. Like, they're good. They like, I don't know about financial. I don't know how they pay. I don't know how she paying them. But Candy gives a lot of people chances, and I feel like Kenya probably doesn't. She probably one little ounce of, you a little too ghetto for me, or you made that one little mistake, you gotta get out of here. I don't think Kenya has leadership, is really a good leader. She can lead herself, but I don't think she can lead others. But that's just my personal opinion. She also declined talking about Cynthia. I would have loved her address Cynthia, because it does seem, I mean, I don't know. This is, what could you have said? You were in the wrong for this. You're mad because she kept it real and she didn't kiss your ass like everybody else. I don't know. I just would have loved for her to address Cynthia and see what was her opinion on everything that was going on with that. But that was the actual video. It's not, in my perspective, nothing really changes anything here. I think at this point, Kenya really just needs to stop talking. She need to get an actual PR team if she can afford one. Get a PR team and just have them try to iron this out. Go away for a couple. Do what Phaedra did. Phaedra, she was fired because of her decision, what she did to Candy and all that other stuff. And it was really bad. We didn't see much from Phaedra for years. Honey, Phaedra went away. She went away. You need to go away. Focus on your focus when it comes to that damn salon. Okay, keep selling your stuff at Sally Beauty and CVS and all that other stuff. Sell Kenya more hair care, because it seems like that's going to be what's going to be paying the bills. I would say downsize, probably get out of that house, child, because I've heard you having issues financially with the house. But that's just not here or there. I think that she should just go away, and not in a mean way, but just cease from being in the public eye for a little bit. And then wait until the fans like, dang, we want Kenya back. That's basically what happened with Phaedra. Phaedra went away for a couple years, and then people started reminiscing on all the good moments that Phaedra had. And then they was like, oh my God, we want Phaedra back. We want Phaedra back. And then that's when Phaedra kind of eased her way back into Bravo. I think she started off she was on Traders. And then she did like other stuff, like she was on other people's reality shows, like doing guest appearances and stuff like that. And then she came on Married to Medicine. That was her way back in. And now she's back on Real Housewives of Atlanta. You have got to go away. The more you talk, the more problems you're going to have. What you said in this video, you already kind of said this before. You already made inklings and insinuations on your social media. There was no reason for you to do this. This was a dummy mission, honey. At this point, I mean, I watched it just for content, of course, but like, you really didn't say nothing groundbreaking or anything different than what had conspired. And people are going to still view you in the court of public opinion. You were a mean girl. It gave bully, it gave just hateful and weird. You're going to have to stop talking to let people just get over it, and eventually they'll probably want you back if that's the case for you. But I think she should stop talking, child. I really do. Now let's move on. Since we're on the whole realm of reality, let's get into, my girl Karen Huger. I'm going to talk about her for a little second. Karen Huger was denied a work release transfer. According to reports, the Real Housewives of Potomac star applied for work release after serving 2 months of her 12-month sentence for drinking and driving. The request would have transferred her to a rehab-focused facility with looser restrictions. While corrections officials approved the transfer, the final decision was left for the judge who sentenced her, and he denied it. Damn. Judge Terrence McGain issued a disapproval of transfer despite Huger's clean conduct and prior treatment efforts. Huger is now expected to complete her sentence at the Montgomery County Correction Facility with a possible release in November, according to the attorney. Damn, she's been in prison for 2 months. I always thought once you get sentenced, okay, there's a time period that you have that, like, they sent her right to jail. Oh my good, 2 months. I'm gonna be real honest, guys, and I know how y'all feel about Karen. There's a lot of people that have very, very strong opinions, I should say, for Karen, right? I feel bad for her. I don't care what y'all gotta say. I feel bad for Karen. I don't think she deserves this. In quite as okay, all right. She got 5 DUIs. Okay, all right, I get it. But I feel, in my opinion, and y'all gonna have your own opinion. Look, everybody got an opinion, and I implore you to type it in the comments, whatever. If you ain't killed nobody, if you ain't hurt nobody, you know what I'm saying? She assaulted a tree. She ran into a tree. She could have killed herself, but You get what I'm saying? Nobody got hurt. I feel like when people get hurt, that's when, like, when you drinking and driving and then you actually kill somebody, I feel like you need to go down. You probably need to go down for some years, like probably life. But if you just so happen to, okay, you ran into a tree. I mean, I don't know. I mean, this is her like 4th DUI. So I guess I get it, like legally, but damn, like she really in prison. Girl, they said, and I remember somebody had said, girl, she wear wigs. She ain't wearing no wig now. She probably look bad. And I wonder what type of, like they said, the Montgomery Correctional Facility. What does that look like? I mean, because I heard celebrities go to certain prisons. Like they go to like federal. Is that a federal prison? I hope so. Because if she's in like there with the bad girl, oh my God, I don't care what nobody say. I feel bad for her. I do. And I would be saying this if this wasn't a famous person that I watched on television. I mean, I never really was like, I always thought she was very elitist in the beginning of Real Housewives of Potomac, but she kind of warmed up. I kind of warmed up to her or whatever. But I don't think she deserves this, guys. I really don't, girl. Girl, put a 1 in the comments if you feel like she deserves it, child. But let me tell you who deserves some scrutiny. Okay, and it's gonna be the last topic before I get up out of this show, okay? Gayle motherfucking King. I'm so sick of you. I'm tired of her. I'm sick of her. Because you know what? At the end of the day, Gayle is not okay with us not giving a fuck that she went to space. And a handful of other women went to space too, apparently, child. As Gayle King, Katy Perry, and among other figures, women figures, took a ride, and yes, a ride to kind of space for 5 minutes. Okay, we talked about this on the last episode. I was like, okay. I mean, at first I was like, oh, that's good. I'm glad that I was a little worried for them because I'm like, I hope nothing happens to them because with space travel, you might blow up. But I guess she received some backlash. Well, Gayle thinks that she received backlash from people that thinks that this is like a frivolous thing, a venture, or whatever. Here's what Gayle had to say in response to all that.
It bothers me because I've certainly read some of the things online coming from people that I know, that I like, that I consider friends. And this is what I would say to that. Space is not an either or, it's a both. And because you do something in space doesn't mean you're taking anything away from Earth. And what you're doing in space is trying to make things better here on Earth. What Blue Origin wants to do is take the waste here and figure out a way to put it in space to make our planet cleaner. I mean, Jeff Bezos has so many ideas, and the people that are working there are really devoted and dedicated to making our planet a better place. That's number one. Number two, have you been? If you've been and you still feel that way after you come back, please let's have a conversation. Number three, please don't call it a ride. That is not a friggin' ride. Whenever a man goes up, you have never said to an astronaut, boy, what a ride. We duplicated the same trajectory that Alan Shepard did back in the day.
And for the life of me, I understand why my parents never liked your stuck up, highbrow Negro ass. Okay. I didn't see this full video. Like I saw clips of it and I saw the part where she was like, have you been to space? Have you been to space? Girl, just so out of touch reality. I would expect Katy Perry to be like this because she's a celebrity, she's a pop star, nothing is really going on up here. I would expect her to have that response. Let's just talk about the whole ride comment because at the end of the day, you did take a ride. You took a ride. You didn't fly that bitch. You didn't drive it. You wasn't behind the control center. Okay, you sat your ass down as that damn rocket went off and you went into space. Girl, you took a ride. You're comparing yourselves to astronauts that actually spent time. They got their degrees. They got their certifications. They did the training. Okay, and what you were doing, okay, I'm pretty sure you probably trained for this as well because they got to get you prepared to go into space and into all that other crap. But you didn't drive it. You sat your ass down and you explored. You took a ride. It was a ride. And for her to sit there and make it a thing, oh, well, you're only saying it because of women. No, nobody's saying that. Nobody's saying that. That's what you're saying. That's what you're alleging. That's not the truth. Hold on, let me not go off the rails too much because I was just really getting into her ass. And I think the thing is, people don't give a fuck that you went to space. You kind of went to space, right? Because eggs are $17. People are losing their benefits. People are losing jobs. People are losing out on some money. Okay, they're losing their places that they're living at. You get what I'm saying? And you want us to care. Maybe if it was like back in 2015, maybe if this was like back in the day when things were kind of okay under the Obama administration. Yeah, I said it. Maybe it would have been like, oh my God, that's an amazing moment. Like all 6 women went to space and da. But we are in hell right now. Okay? There's things that are going on in this world that, first of all, you report on this stuff. You're a reporter, so you should know. You get what I'm saying? It was a very weird take. She should have never did this interview, because before this interview, people just didn't care. I mean, there was probably some people saying some stuff, but for the most part, nobody cared. Like, we got stuff going on. And for her to make that comment, well, you don't know what Jeff Bezos is doing. He is trying to find a way to get rid of our trash. He's trying to find a way to put the trash into space. So now we are polluting space. Now we want to pollute space. And I said this to my best friend, this is why God sent a flood.
The line is always moving.
That was the wrong button, child. But this is why God sent a freaking flood. Bitch, you mean to tell me he wants to put the trash in space? Now you done told on yourself. That's his plans? And you think that's something that's so good? Like, somebody who's an advocate for global warming and stuff like that, you think that's a sound decision to throw trash into space? Throw our trash into space? And how that can affect space negatively? I mean, I don't know too much about it, but I would expect you to. And you are so gung-ho about Bezos and what he got going on. He's in bed with the Trump administration. I thought we were liberal. I thought we were left-leaning. I'm sorry, did I miss something? Your indoctrination to conservatism and then into the right? Gayle King, you lost me. And that's where she lost me. That's where she lost me, and she lost a lot of others. She should have just said nothing. You should have just sat there, went to kind of space, and not said a goddamn thing. Okay? Girl, go ahead with that. Go ahead with that, girl. I'm done. I'm off this topic. I'm off this episode, child. We are done. Hope you guys enjoyed the show. Girl, it's going to be a hell of an edit, but we're going to get through it. Okay? And I will see you guys with the next episode. We're probably going to recap Housewives. I don't see this episode being any good on Real Housewives of Atlanta. I'm not going to hold you. You might not get an episode until like Wednesday. And I'm being real honest. Okay? So I'll see you guys later, okay?